Ready?
It's time to talk sports. National, local, professional, completely unprofessional, high school and college.
Let's take it even further off the hook.
It's the Zach Gelb Show.
We are rolling
On Fox Sports 920, The Jersey.
live from the palatial yet not overly ostentatious studios of Fox Sports 920, The Jersey, the Princeton Orthopedic Associate Studios to be exact. Welcome in to another edition of the Zach Gelb Show on this Tuesday, the 20th day of September in the year of 2016. Eagles get the big victory last night over the Bears, 29-14, and we'll get into a lot of Carson Wentz talk today. But first, we open up the show with someone that is very, very, very funny. He is a big-time New York Mets fan. You could formerly see him on Saturday Night Live and Half Baked, and that is the great Jim Breuer, who's kind enough to join us right now on the Zach Gelb Show. Jimmy, thanks for a few minutes, and what's happening?
Zach and you're happening. That's what's going on.
No doubt
You're
about
happening,
that.
Zach. You're happening.
And I'll tell you this, our New York Mets, hopefully they'll be doing something and make something happen in the postseason. I watch your videos every day, and I get upset when the Mets don't win because when I wake up, it's a sad recap, and you know us Met fans, we like happy recaps.
Yes, that's true, and the Braves continue to be a thorn no matter how bad they are. That Freddie Gonzalez, he's got Chipper written all over his forehead.
Hopefully he doesn't name his kid Shea, though.
Yes, that is true, and hopefully it doesn't turn into, he'll have to name his kid City Field. It'd be a little awkward.
And you can see Jim Breuer and the Loud and Rowdy Show on October 2nd, 2016, Rock Carnival 2016 at the First Energy Park in Lakewood, New Jersey. Also, you can see him perform a comedy show on Friday, November 4th, 2016 at the Wellmont Theater right here in Montclair, New Jersey. We'll get to that in a little bit, but where's your confidence level at with our Metsies?
It's pretty high, but, the Giants and the Cardinals are a serious force to deal with. And if they can I feel very confident this is a team that's going to make the playoffs. And if they make it's not going to be easy. They're definitely going to have to fight for it. And I feel this team is full of a lot of fight. But then again, so are the Dodgers and so are the Cardinals. But for what this team has been through and everyone they lost and what's been expected since everyone they lost, I mean, they don't even have a pitching staff. They have Bartolo and Noah. That's all that's left. And hopefully Noah, there's nothing wrong with him because it was a little bizarre. He looked a little bizarre last night. It was a little frightening. It's the first time you saw him walk people back to back. It was a little weird the way he got banged up against the worst team in baseball. It was so who knows? But for right now, it's pretty high. And I truly believe if they make it to at least the Cubs, I think we got a good chance to go all the way.
From your lips to God's ears, and you know as a Mets fan, you always prepare for the worst, and I love Noah Syndergaard. He's my favorite player on the team, but every time I watch him pitch, I just have a feeling he's going to get injured. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, last night I'm watching him, and when he walked, he had that bad inning where he was lights out inning one, just lights out. And you went, oh, maybe we'll see a no-hitter. And it goes from that to walking two in a row and giving up 2-3 runs. And you go, oh, my God, what is going on? And he's out by the fourth inning. Couldn't even get past it. It was, he's throwing 100-something pitches by the fourth inning. You go, what the heck is going on? But that is why we're Mets fans.
Yeah, and as Met fans, we do overreact a lot. A month ago, I wanted Terry Collins out because they couldn't win back-to-back games, and now I love Terry Collins because he's winning with no one on this team. It's amazing.
Exactly. He puts in Blevins to face Murphy. That is a moment I'll never forget.
Yes.
And what does he do? He strikes Murphy out. Right there, I went, Terry, that's forgiven for any other moment I question in my life ever. He now just redeemed himself. I think Terry's been great. Is he perfect? No. Is any manager perfect?
No.
And all of us, every fan, every commenter, everyone on radio, we all are better managers at home. All of us. We all think we can manage the entire team from what we watch on TV, and that's what keeps us engaged, I guess. But at the end of the day, I love what Terry's pulled off.
Now, you've been a Mets fan for a very, very long time. The Mets some years make it feel like a whole lot longer. Give me the best day as a Met fan and the worst day as a Met fan in your life.
Worst day as a Met fan, Carlos Beltran striking out, looking in 2006. That was a brutal. I was there. I still am scarred from it, and I still have bad feelings about it. The best day was Game 6. Well, besides winning the World Series, but Game 6 against those Red Sox, down by 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth with 2 out and nobody on. That, I feel like I can go through step by step, motion through motion, pitch by pitch. One of the greatest sports events I've ever witnessed in my life.
If you could have done a recap video back then on Facebook when the Mets won that Game 6, give me a little bit of what that would sound like right now.
I can't even do it. Your volume doesn't go up loud enough. I think it would have ended in sobbing on my lawn, on my knees, just sobbing hysterically. It would. I lost my mind last year when they beat. It's funny, everyone remembers the champagne video, but what they don't remember is, I'm a little embarrassed by it, was when we beat the Dodgers. It's funny too. Everyone thinks I'm hammered every time I make these things.
No, that's just
I know, but I drank once, and the time I drank was when we were playing the Dodgers, and we finally beat them in Game 5 in L.A., and I screamed like a lunatic in my house, and I listened to it, and I sound like a 12-year-old girl screaming. that I thank God that one is kind of forgotten. I'm sure if you look for it, you'll find it, but I have a feeling it would have been a little like that one if I was doing the recaps back then.
Jim Breuer joins us right now on the Zach Gelb Show. Actually, for your worst memory, I was at that Game 7 as well. I was actually kicked out of that game, and guess what? I was in the 7th grade at that time.
How'd you get kicked out?
So I'll explain it to you. My dad worked for WFAN. He used to produce Mike and the Mad Dog, so you'd think we would never get kicked out. Before the game, I go with my friend. My best friend at the time just got over cancer, so I haven't seen him in a long time. And before the game, he was friendly with the Mets attorney. I'll tell you why that's important to note out. So I end up, before the game, I'm with the Wilpons, Omar Minaya, and the Mets attorney. So you're thinking I'm not getting kicked out of this game. Between innings, my seats are a few sections over. I go over to my friend to say hello to him because I haven't seen him in a while. And we were just catching up. The next thing you know, a security guard comes up to a 7th grade kid and goes, "Hey, you need to go back to your seat." I go, "Okay, no problem." He goes, "Can I actually see your tickets, young man?" So I give him my tickets. I'm 3 sections over. He goes, "All right," I'm with my dad too. He goes, "You need to leave." So we're walking out. The next thing you know, 7, 8 security guards escort us out the stadium. I've never seen anything like it. And one more thing to tell you. My dad has a metal knee. He had knee surgery. When they're escorting us out of the stadium, they flat tired him and he fell down those old Shea Stadium ramps. Leg ended up bleeding, and we ended up suing the Mets and winning some money. So maybe I'm to blame for the Mets' financial problems.
Wow. Well, I will say this, though. That story has a lot of suspect holes in it.
Well, I'll tell you this. In the 7th grade, I wasn't drinking, so I was sober, so I have the best recollection of it.
That part makes sense. I feel like you made the story sound like you guys were handing out roses, and they said, "Let me see the ticket," and then there was a billy club on your forehead, and they were dragging you out. I feel like there's something missing there.
No. So Jim, to this day, I am traumatized by the moment. Jay Horowitz, who works for the Mets PR, even said, "Zach, you could come back in," but they wouldn't let my dad because my dad's knee was like gushing blood, and he just wanted to get the heck out of there. And I was traumatized. I was in the 7th grade. I was crying. I didn't want to go back in there. I thought I'd get beat up or something.
Wow, that's horrifying. But you end up suing and you won. So the good guys win.
Yeah, I ended up getting some Sony TV out of it. My dad bought me that to make me feel good. As Jim Breuer joins us.
Here's a bobblehead. There you go.
Well, he got the big bucks.
Roberto Alomar. We got a couple of these left over.
So, my grandma loved Roberto Alomar. She called him Roberto Malamar back in the day. But I want to ask you this. I saw one of your videos the other day, and you were chastising your friend who's a Saints fan. Are you a big football fan?
Not huge. Not like I am in baseball. I follow it. I'm a little more complicated with football. Let me explain. I grew up a diehard Cowboys fan. Diehard. And I would say the best reason why is because they were on TV in the 70s. So I loved Landry and Roger Staubach and hated the Steelers because it was always the Cowboys and Steelers. And I loved – and then Lawrence Taylor made me a big Giants fan.
Wow.
And then Mark Gastineau made me a Jets fan. So when it comes to the New York teams, I root for both. And I kind of gave up on the Cowboys. I was a diehard Cowboy fan all the way up until they fired Jimmy Johnson. And I got very angry with Jerry Jones. It still bothers me. And so I don't really – I kind of watch them from a distance like a child. I let go and I say, you're no longer my son. But I do find myself once in a while checking in on them. But that is kind of how I follow football. At the end of the year, I do know this. I hate the Patriots.
I'm a big Patriot fan.
I do. I just hate them. I hate them. I just there's no explanation. Maybe just because they're so good. But every year I look at them and I go, God, I hate these guys.
Well, I'm a big Patriot fan, and I'll also say this. I'll tie this into Mark Gastineau, and I'm not lying on this one either. Mark Gastineau used to sleep, actually, with my mom's aunt, and no one likes her in the family because a lot of us are Patriot fans. And she also stole a lot of money, too, so from my grandmother, so that's why we also don't like her.
That's awesome.
Jim, I have to ask you this as Jim Breuer joins us right now on the Zach Gelb Show. Everyone knows you for Goat Boy on Saturday Night Live. What was life like for you before Saturday Night Live?
The year and a half before, the year before it was absolute madness. It was not a great year. It went from winning the lottery ticket to having it literally stripped away from me. It was I was going to be a sitcom star on the cover of what do you call it, TV Guide. We were on USA Today, and I had a big sitcom spinoff of Home Improvement. And the first episode was about to air, and they fired me by the third episode, and then it was horrifying. And then it went to some other shows. But before all that happened, I was an up-and-coming comedian. I still love going on stage and make people laugh. That's my bread and butter. That's what I live for. And it was a lot about family, a lot of family-driven stand-up comedy, and that's still my core today. But that was, I got TV pretty fast. I started stand-up in '89. Technically started in '85, on and off, took some acting. But '89, I said, I'm never looking back. And by '91, '92, I was on TV doing stuff. So I grew pretty quick, but I didn't really grow as a comedian. Probably until about 2008 before I really found my voice.
So you knew you were still pretty darn good, though, when you walked into Saturday Night Live. How nervous were you when you walked into audition?
I wasn't really nervous because I declined the audition.
Oh, wow.
I didn't want to go to it. All I know is, and by then I was pretty bitter with Hollywood and entertainment. I just got fired off of 2 straight sitcoms, and I also got another big deal that went, and then the show got picked up, and then right before it got picked up, they said they're not picking it up. It was just, I had a very bitter taste And so I had a pretty bad taste of it all. And they asked me if I want to audition for SNL. I said, no, I don't want to do that. Everyone's miserable on that show. And I knew a lot of the comics on there. So I see I don't know what happens in that machine, but they come out ugly. and they went no, they're changing the whole cast and they're changing all the writers. And I auditioned, and then the next day in the Post there was a big write-up how they're looking for new people. And first paragraph, you can write Jim Breuer off who auditioned yesterday. I was like, what? Why would you? Who am I? Why would you write? I just never saw that in my life where a kid auditions for something and you put his name in there and go, well, you're not in it. And that was in the Post, right? As soon as you open it up, and it was a bizarre time for me. So by the time I did get it, I didn't really have time to celebrate. I had 6 episodes to get on the air before I was fired, and so it was quite a task. And it really, at the end of the day, it took me giving up, knowing I was going to be fired, and I just became myself. I said, why am I so stressed? And why am I? You know what? I'm tired of. I got in this business to enjoy myself, and I started talking to one of the interns. I'm like, hey, let's go get some lunch. Why don't we lighten this place up a little bit? Hey, what's everyone so serious about? You know what I mean? And one of the guys heard me, and he said, holy dude, I got a sketch for that. And that changed everything. The first time I did that Pesci show was the biggest roar of a crowd I've ever heard in my life.
Wow.
And that changed things. But, by the 3rd, 4th year, I got weird again and whatever.
I'm just surprised that the mood in there wasn't always laughter after laughter, because you also worked with Will Ferrell. What was that like working with Will Ferrell at the time?
He is genius. He did it. I can't even describe Will. He's a freak of nature. I've never seen anyone just be so simple and yet so darn funny. I am so blessed that I got to watch that guy work in front of me. He's such a great guy, such a down-to-earth guy. He'd always have his mom there, or his dad there, and a brother, and his now wife. And I remember one time he did a sketch about, he didn't even talk. He just ate a sandwich, and we were just howling. He would come on there, and he would do 2 weeks of staying in a character, and he wouldn't break character. And you couldn't refer to him as Will. You had to refer to him as whatever character he was for that week. He's definitely one of the greatest stars of our time.
And then how about Dave Chappelle? Because you also worked with him in Half Baked.
Oh, that's another one. That's another one. Dave, when he asked me, I knew Dave watching, going up in the clubs and hanging out and stuff like that. And we both had deals going on and jazz like that. And we had a great friendship. And he came to me and he asked me if I'd be in this movie, a pot movie he was writing. And I said, yeah, okay, yeah, right. It's a movie. Yeah, all and I didn't believe him at all. He's like, no, man, it's going to be big, man. It's going to be big. So, yeah, okay, yeah. And I really didn't believe it. Even when we were filming it, I'm like, is this really a movie? Like, is this going to be in the movie theaters and all that? And the thing about Dave is, even before the Comedy Central blew him up, he, to me, was the most brilliant, funny, smart, thought-provoking comic I ever saw. And I compared him a lot to like a Richard Pryor-esque type of comedian. Not so much the anime. He was brilliant with his material and his storytelling, and some of his bits would be 10 minutes long, and he would just bring you through this journey before he pop you in the head at the end. He was But another one that I know as time goes on, I'm blessed to see moments like that. There was a lot of times like, man, I'm just going to jump on stage, and we'd go, and I'd watch him go up there he said, I hated when he did that because I'm only 10 minutes, which really meant 3 hours. I'm like, oh, God, get off, Dave. Let's go. I'm hungry.
Oh, that's great. Jim Breuer joins us right now on the Zach Gelb Show. So I just have to ask you this, because when you started doing the Chappelle imitation, and I'm in South Jersey here today, and it's a mix of Giant fans and then also Eagles fans, but everyone's on cloud nine with what's going on with Carson Wentz. But, Philadelphia, Sylvester Stallone, it doesn't get any bigger than that. Can you do a little Stallone for us?
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, we haven't won in a while, but this might be our year. You never know.
Jim, you're the best. All right, so tell me about this rock album. I love this stuff, man.
I do, too. I basically, when I found my voice in stand-up, I said I want to do a hard rock metal album, and instead of songs about chasing teenage girls, I'm going to do songs about raising teenage girls. and what do I do? And I wrote songs about the bands I used to listen to. And I got to sing a song with Brian Johnson of AC/DC called Mr. Rock and Roll, which is basically I'm going to blow the kids' tuition, and we're going to put you to bed, and we're going to tear up the night like no one's ever seen before, because we're still the kings of tearing it up. I'm living the dream right now, and we just played Philly at the Rock Allegiance tour, and then I go back to Philly, and I can't wait for the Rock Carnival. That thing is going to be the Rock Carnival. We're going to kill that thing, and then I'm going to kill Montclair. I'm able to kill in two different directions. It feels good. I feel like an army just coming at you in all directions.
Maybe the Mets could use you, too. Get some money, sell some tickets as well.
Yeah, you never know. We'll have to work on that, too. And you know what? They should sign up Kevin James. Man, can that guy belt a ball.
Didn't you do an event with him the other night? I saw something on Twitter about that.
Yeah, yesterday. I did something with him yesterday, and then 2 nights ago, he was taking batting practice, and he shagged one over the fence.
Wow.
Gorilla. Yes. It was unreal. The guy's an animal. He can hit it.
So did Tim Tebow. He took batting practice today. Would you buy a Tim Tebow jersey?
No.
Thank you.
Wait, you know what? When Tim Tebow is batting third or fourth or fifth and he's driving in runs, I will be the biggest Tebow fan you've ever seen in your life.
All right, that's how we work. So before we let you run, Jim Breuer and the Loud and Rowdy show info. It's on Sunday, October 2nd, 2016. Like you said, Rock Carnival 2016 at First Energy Park in Lakewood, New Jersey. And the comedy show is on Friday, November 4th, 2016 at the Wellmont Theater in Montclair, New Jersey. People listening right now, why should they come see you? I think they already got the endorsement with this great interview, but why should people come see you?
You ain't going to see anyone else better live, period. I'll put that challenge out there, and you let me know when you're done seeing me.
Let's go Mets, Jim. Appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
Let's go Mets, baby. Have a good one.
You too. There's the great Jim Breuer joining us right now on the Zach Gelb Show. At first, because I have to think of things from a programming standpoint, because I am the program director. Duh, Zach, come on. That's pretty obvious what you just said. And we scheduled this about a week in advance, and it just didn't occur to me, Eagles coming off of Monday Night Football. You have to lead the show talking Eagles, Zach, duh. And then I said, you know what? It's Jim Breuer. And that's the first 24 minutes of our show. He is so funny, does such a good job talking about the Mets and having some humor to it, because with the long season that is the New York Mets, you need some humor in that. His videos are absolutely great. And now has the Rock album, still performing. Used to be on Saturday Night Live. You saw him in the movie Half Baked. And how about that? He tied in real issues in my life, and we didn't even rehearse that. It was like we've been doing comedy for years, and I'm not even that funny. He brought up the Mets and that 06 with the Game 7, the Andy Chavez catch game, and then Beltran striking out. And that's a true story. I was kicked out of that game. And I ended up, my family, I never really saw the money besides the TV I got out of it, but my dad ended up winning a nice chunk of change in court on that one. And then the Mark Gastineau story. That's right. Her name is Aunt Cena in my family. And Aunt Cena is my mother's aunt. She did some disgusting things and no one talks to her, but she did get it on with Mark Gastineau once. And I remember I was at a game, I believe it was Pats-Jets. It actually was the Joe Namath game on, I want to say it was Sunday Night Football. I was really young at the time, where he was inebriated and said to Susie Colbert, "I want to kiss you, Susie. I want to kiss you." But they were honoring a bunch of Jet players that night, and Mark Gastineau was called up, and he's on the goal line, I want to say, or somewhere by the goal line to the 20-yard line. And my dad, our seats are in the end zone, he screams out, "Hey, Gastineau! Aunt Cena wants her sheets back!" So when he brought up Mark Gastineau, that was the first thing that came to mind. We got to take a break. We're long overdue for one. 4:26 is the time here in the Princeton Orthopedic Associates studios. This is the Zach Gelb Show, 609-919-9200. Eagles fans, don't worry. It's your time next, because Wentzville, Wentzwagon, we're talking Wentz, and more Wentz next on the Zach Gelb Show on this Tuesday edition. We'll take a quick break. I like what I'm seeing out of Carson Wentz, baby. I'm all fired up. I did a detailed report on him last night, studying each and every snap. We'll get into some EAGLES Eagles next.